Hey everyone, we're back for another workout of the day. Today is a special workout. It is dedicated to Dan Rivera, who recently lost his life. He was a veteran, a father, a husband, a friend, and a son. And it really weighs hard on me. And I wanted to dedicate this workout to him. It is 5 rounds for time. It is 20 weighted lunges, 10 bent over rows, 20 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, 20 kettlebell swings, and 10 goblet squats. And after you complete round 1, you're going to do 1 minute of rowing, biking, jump roping, or running, some sort of total cardio movement for a whole minute. And then after round 3, the same thing. Okay, so the first movement is going to be our weighted lunges. So let's just go over the lunge movement first. We want to step forward. We're going to come down into a 90-degree angle with both of our legs. So let me step back with this one so you can see that we don't want to be lunging forward. We want to be, again, it should be 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So we're just going to keep our chest upright, looking forward, core tight. Now, as we add weight, that's even more important. So we can do weighted lunges several ways. We can do the suitcase carry. So we want to pull our shoulders back. Don't let the weight pull you forward. Pull back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And keeping that chest up, core tight, stepping forward and coming back and alternating legs. Now we can also do 1 dumbbell, lunging forward. We can also take a band and do 1 leg at a time. So you do 10 on each side. So come down, and then just switch arms. We can also use a band around our legs as well. So we want to just put it right above the knees here. You can try to come down as well. Or if you have a barbell, you can use a barbell. We can do it 2 ways, one of 2 ways. We can either do a front rack position where we're resting on our shoulders here. I'm not holding this up with my hands. This is very important for this movement. Our elbows are going to be pushed up and our chest is going to stay really upright. And we want to come straight down, not allowing that weight to pull us forward. The other way we can do it is a back rack. You'll put it on the back and same thing. Okay. Now, the next movement, I'm going to stay right here. We're going to do a bent over row. So important when we do a bent over row, what we want to do, the right position, is we're going to be about hip width apart with our feet. Our toes are going to be slightly pointed outward. We're going to push our hips back. So we're pushing our hips back. I'm bending at the hips. My knees are only slightly bent, a little loose. And we're going to bend over, keeping our back straight the whole time. We want to make sure we're squeezing our shoulder blades together. We don't want to allow the weight to round our shoulders and back. It's going to put a lot of pressure in a lot of places we don't want. So I will show you facing forward with the barbell first, and then sideways so you can get that view as well. So we're going to pick the barbell up. We're going to go ahead and get into our position. I'm squeezing my shoulders back. I'm bringing my butt back, and I'm going to allow the barbell to hang in front of me. And I'm pushing up to about below right where the bottom of my sports bra is. If you're a female watching this, that's a good place to do. Now, what you don't see me doing is using my body to move it. We're just using our arms. So see how I'm not moving? I'm not hiking that up. It's a great way to put, again, pressure in areas that we don't want, causing extra strain, possible injury as well. So no movement other than your arms, so pick a weight that you're able to do. We can also do use a dumbbell and our bench, placing one knee, one hand over the bench, again squeezing our shoulder blades, keeping our back straight, and just pulling up until our arm goes about 90 degrees 90 degrees up. Again, we're not twisting, we're not using some kipping motion to get that dumbbell up. So something that you can use that is not going to cause you to do those things. It's not always about heavy weight. It's about form and repetitions and doing things correctly. And that's what's gonna build muscle and strength. You can also use 2 or 1 dumbbells. And again, we're gonna squeeze our shoulders together, and we can either do here or here. We can also take our band. So we're gonna step in our band. We're gonna grab it kind of low. And again, we can use different resistance for this. Same movement, and we're just going to bring the band up. Okay. Next movement is going to be our sit-up. Got to get those abs in there. We're going to come back, touch those toes, squeezing those abs as we come up. Modifications to the knees. If you want to do crunches, to the shins. What you don't see me doing is putting my hand behind my hands behind my neck, because we don't want to pull our neck forward. Okay, next movement is our push press. So again, we're going to come back to our barbell if you have one. We are going to clean it up onto our shoulders. And again, we're resting it here on our shoulders. I am not holding it here. That's going to be put a lot of extra effort and tire you out quickly, especially with 10 of these. We want to always be resting on our shoulder before we do this. We want to bring our elbows up and out, and that's going to create that shelf for our barbell to rest on. The push press is using your legs to help drive the barbell up. So we're applying force upward, which is helping the barbell go up, and we finish it overhead. So how we do that is our feet are going to be about hip width apart, toes slightly pointed outward. We're going to come into a quarter squat. So we're going to bring our knees outward, keeping our feet completely flat on the ground. If you find yourself rolling up onto those toes as you come down, really try to drive those knees outward. That's going to help keep you coming straight up and down, because we want the barbell to go in a straight line. That's going to give you the most force upward. So we're going to come down into that quarter squat, straight down, and then we're going to push as hard as we can with those legs, driving the barbell up and finishing with a push out at the top with our whole arms straight, no half press. So this is what it's going to look like with the barbell. So it's resting here, coming down into that quarter squat and driving up, and my head is going to come through at the top so that it is directly over. Everything is stacked on top of each other, my arms, my shoulders, and so forth. We can also use a dumbbell. We can either use one or two. So we're going to have it on our shoulders, come down into that quarter squat, pressing all the way up. You can either do 5 on each side or 10 on each side. Or if you're going to use 2 dumbbells, you can use 2 and press all the way up. The other thing we can do is use our trusty band and do 10 on each side for this one. So we're going to just press. We're going to not use our legs. It's going to be a strict press. And press all the way up at the top that our arm is straight. Next movement is our kettlebell swing. So our legs are going to be slightly wider than hip width apart. We're going to come back so that the outside of our wrist is touching the inside of our thigh. That's where we want to come back to. So we're going to bring our hips back, knees slightly bent, just kind of like the bent over row, and bringing our arms back until they reach that inner thigh. And we're going to use the momentum again with our legs. That leg drive up is going to drive the kettlebell upward. We're not pulling it up. So if you find that the kettlebell is only coming here, that means you really have to apply more pressure so that you have, again, it's all about the force pushing the weight up. We want to come to about eye height here. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to squeeze your butt at the top. You want your back to always stay straight. If you find yourself touching anywhere above the wrist, you're probably doing one of 2 things. You're probably squatting, doing a weird squat thing. No. Or you're coming back too far. And I don't know what you're looking for back there, but no need to go all the way through your legs there. If you don't have a kettlebell, but you have a dumbbell, that works as well. And we're just going to do the same movement with the dumbbell, or we can take a band. We're going to step on the band, pulling it through, and we're going to do that same movement with the band. Okay, last movement is going to be our goblet squat. So first we'll go over the squat movement. Hips about hips. Your hips are your hips. Your feet are about hip width apart, toes slightly pointed outward. We're going to keep our feet flat at all times on the ground. So we're going to push our knees outward and coming down, keeping our chest upward and coming straight down all the way up. We want to lock those knees and hips up at the top. Come down. We want to come down to about parallel. So what I mean, this leg is parallel to the ground or slightly below, and come back up. So with the goblet squat, that means we're adding weight. So we're going to take a dumbbell. And again, you can use whatever weight you feel comfortable with, but challenge yourself. And we're going to keep our chest nice and up, our core tight. We can also take a band here and place it over our shoulders and use that for a little extra pressure. Now again, if you find that your toes are coming up, if you're coming up on your toes, you see how if I come up on my toes, my body is unstable and rocking back and forth. If I don't go on my toes, I'm staying nice and straight and still. So one of 2 things, you could be keeping your feet completely straight, which is going to bring your knees forward, which is going to automatically rock you forward. See how that works? It could also be hip or joint mobility, ankle mobility. So that's something you'd have to work on. If you're kind of new and kind of just getting to the whole squat thing, and just air squats are still a little difficult. You can use a bench and squat to the bench. We just want to tap the bench with our butt. We don't want to sit down and rock. That's not giving us enough with the legs. We want to just touch the top of the bench. You can use a box or even a med ball to get down even lower. Okay, so that's the workout. So you can do all those movements 5 times. And again, after rounds 1 and 3, you're going to take 1 minute and you're going to do some sort of constant cardio movement. So you're either going to jump on a bike, a stationary bike, a rowing machine, or you're going to jump rope, or just running in place for a whole minute. So that is the workout of the day. Good luck. Make sure you write down your time, movements, and weights.